Hi everyone, this is Harshal, and in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview on ProfitBooks. In this session, we'll discuss what all activities that you can perform with ProfitBooks application, like creating invoices and adding payments. I'll also show you how you can record your day-to-day expenses, record your bank transactions, and how you can manage your taxes and all other transactions like journal vouchers, etc. Then we'll see various reports. We have almost 45 plus reports. And finally, I'll also show you how you can customize the application as per your needs. So let's get started. So once you log into your ProfitBooks application, this is the dashboard that you see. It shows you the overview of your income and expenses for this month, for last 6 months, or financial year. Then you'll see all the recent activities by you as well as by your team. So who ProfitBooks is a multi-user accounting application. So you can invite you invite the entire team with you, and whatever activities that they perform, you'll get an access to it on this section. Then dashboard also shows you top 15 selling items, like so that you know which product is doing better as compared to others. Then you'll get to see cash and bank balances here, quick look, and a quick overview on your paid and unpaid invoices, your payables. On your left, you'll see this very easy to understand. Meaning what we have done in ProfitBooks is we have categorized transactions mainly into two parts, like income and expenses. So in income, you got options to record invoices, you can create quotations, you can manage your customers, receive payments, etc. In expenses, you can record your day-to-day expenses, your inventory purchases if you are dealing with the physical goods. You can create purchase orders, manage your vendors, make them payments in advance, and do a lot of stuff. In banking, you get options to record your cash and bank transactions. You can also do bank reconciliation. And then in accounting menu, you get to manage your chart of accounts, your taxes. This is something that your in-house accountant can use. Then we have got items where you can create your products and services. If you have a small manufacturing unit, you can use this function to record consumption of raw material, production of goods, etc. Then if you are from India, we have got GST. It will give you option to get an overview of your GST returns like GSTR1, GSTR3B. Then on our SMB plan, you will be able to add multiple employees. So and you can also create define a different roles for those employees, like a different role for your sales executives, so that they can only see options to create invoice and nothing else. So we'll take a look at that as well. And then finally reports. And on your right, you have got a section to get into settings and customize the application. So what I'll do is I'll try to explain the application by going through a use case. So let's assume that you run an electronic store and you sell, let's say, mobile phones. So we'll go to items, go to product and services, and this will show you a list of all the items that you have. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new product quickly. I'll name it as, let's say, iPhone 13 black. Okay, so you can specify the product code, HSN or SAC code, category like mobile phone, etc. You can give it a description like, let's say, 64 GB, and unit of measure. If it is a product and for this product you want to track inventory, you can enable the inventory. If it is a service, you can just keep this option and keep it as no. Okay, so I'll assume that it's a product, so I'll enable the inventory for this product. And if there is any opening stock, you'll see it here, and you can also specify the reorder level. Now, if you are buying this product, like if you're a trader, you can specify these two options. Like you can say, I purchased this product, let's say at 60,000 rupees, and I sell this at, let's say, 65,000 rupees. Okay, so this way you can specify the prices. Okay, I'll just click save. So now we have got product in the system, Now let's go ahead and add quantity for this product, because right now we have zero quantity for this product in our system. So I'll go to expenses and go to purchases so that we can add a purchase entry for this particular product. All right, so this is the purchase entry form. You can select the vendor name. Let's see if we have any good vendor name. I'll just select a random one. Okay, and if and yes, ProfitBooks is also multi-currency. It has support for multiple currencies. If you are buying it in a different currency, you can specify that. You can specify the exchange rate as well. Okay, any quotation number if there is any, quotation date, let's say. Okay, and finally, you can specify whether the amounts are tax inclusive or not. So I'll select, let's say iPhone 13, 64, okay, quantity, let's buy 10 quantities, and we can apply the taxes. You can add multiple rows and add any other charge like, for example, shipping cost or carrying cost, whatever it is, you can add more and any additional charge. It could be a discount on the entire invoice or anything like that. These custom notes and term condition can be set in invoices. So right now I'm keeping it as blank and going to press continue. Now, and system will ask you on which warehouse you want to store the quantity. So you can create multiple warehouses. If it is just one warehouse, you won't see the screen. If there are multiple warehouses, system will ask you where you want to keep this. So you can keep, let's say, 5 quantities in Mumbai store, and let's say other 5 in Delhi store. All right, so we got our purchase in the system, and we can quickly make a payment to vendor. So you can just say vendor, whatever is the exchange rate. If it is different, you can mention that as well. We have got a report that will show you the difference in exchange rates at the time of purchase or at the time of sales. Okay, from account where you are paying it, let's say HDFC, payment date, whether you want to apply TDS or not, payment mode or any description. I'll just click and save. All right, so our purchase is complete. So let's go back to the item screen and see what is the quantity of this newly added product. So this is our iPhone 13 and we have got 10 quantities in stock right now. So now let's go ahead and try to sell this quantity. So I'm going to go in invoices and click on new invoice. Here you can select any customer and let's select the place of supply. Let's say it is Shrat. Product iPhone 13. Show the description. Now system will show the quantity in the system. It's 10. So let's try to sell 3 quantities. Okay, this is the cost. You can make changes to this cost. You can make modifications like this. Again, the tax. You can add multiple rows, any other charges, and click on continue. Again, these customer notes and terms and condition can be customized. All right. So on this screen, you will see, again, you will get to select from which warehouse you want to sell this product from. So I have selected Delhi warehouse. It will show 5 quantities. Out of those 5, we are going to select 3. Click on continue. And the invoice has been created. Now the invoice is created. Let's, you can print multiple copies like original, duplicate, triplicate. I'll open original in a new window. So this is how the invoice looks. Right now we have not uploaded any logo, but you can go ahead and upload the desired logo here. This is the general invoice format. We have multiple formats in the system. You can go to settings and select your desired format. Okay, now let's quickly add the payment. So there are 2 ways. Either you can click on add payment and just select enter the details and record the payment, or you can go to receipts and select that particular customer, and system will show you all the open invoices for that particular customer. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to pay for only one invoice or you want to make a bulk payment for, let's say, 5 invoices, you can do that. You can specify the TDS that is deducted and specify the payment mode, like where you want to deposit it, and all the other options. Just go ahead, click on save, and this receipt will be recorded. So now what we have done is we have created a product, we have purchased that product, and we have sold that product. Similarly, let's go to invoice, and I'll also show you what are the different options that are there. I'll open this new invoice. Okay, so we have not recorded the payment right now, so it's in unpaid mode. So you can, of course, make the edits. You can copy this, and if you're not happy, you can, if your customer is not happy, he can, if he has asked for the refund, you can return this invoice. So a credit note will be created, or maybe you can go for a cash refund for that particular customer. Then you have an option to email this invoice directly to your customer. Just specify email ID, PDF will be generated, and this way you can send it to your customer directly. Okay, and then there is one more thing that you can do. You can connect your payment gateway and directly generate a payment link for your customer. So I have connected InstaMojo in this account. I can just click here and generate a payment link. Okay. Once the payment link is generated, you can copy this link and send it to your customer. He will be able to pay you using his credit card, debit card, or any other payment options. Okay. So let's take a quick look at customers. So if you go to customers, I'll just open one customer. You'll get overview of all the transactions that are done for this customer, like invoices, estimates, receipts. Okay, everything can be seen on one screen easily. Okay, and you'll be able to create new invoices or estimate for that customer directly from this screen. Okay. Now there are other options like creating a quotation. So creating a quotation is very similar to how we create invoices. So you just have to go to estimate. You can also change the name of this estimate. So if you want to call it as quotation, you can do that from settings. So it's very easy. You can just go there, click on new estimate, and fill up all the information and just save it. It's very similar to invoice creation. So I'll not go deeper into this. Okay. And once the estimate is created, you can convert that estimate to an invoice with just one click. You can just go here, convert to invoice, and it will be converted to an invoice. It's very easy. Fine. And we also have a feature for recording sales orders. So for example, if you receive a large sales order from a particular customer which you need to fulfill in, let's say, 6 months, you can record it here. So you can create a new sales order and specify the quantity, and as and when you're going to deliver the goods, you can create delivery challans and create invoices for that particular sales order. So this is very unique and unique feature, and very specific to certain kind of businesses. So if your business has this workflow, this is going to be very helpful for you. All right. So apart from these options, it shows receipts. If, for example, if you receive any advance payment from your customer, you can record that as well in the system. You can do that from add new receipt form. Then you have other options like credit notes, etc. Okay. Let's look at the expenses. We have seen inventory purchases. Similarly, you can also record the purchase orders. In some cases, you need to provide purchase orders to your vendors. You can do that from this application. You can make advance payments to your vendors. So I'll quickly show you how to record day-to-day business expenses. So for example, you can record complex expenses like employee salary, etc. But for the sake of this demo, I'll just show you how you can record day-to-day expenses, like let's say internet rent, or let's say some food expenses. Okay, so let's just select account. You can add a new account if you want. Okay, so let's select account, expense date. And you can also categorize all the expenses or income or purchases as per the projects. Okay, you can create a project and you can just select a project. It could be your campaign, it could be for a customer, could be for a project. Okay, you can just select it and group all those transactions under project. Okay, so let's select some kind of an expense, broadband internet expenses. Just specify the description, if there is any tax, okay, amount, and if you want to upload a bill, so it becomes very easy for you to reconcile during the tax time. And that's it. The expense has been created. You can print it and keep it for your record. It's as easy as that. Now, similar to what we have seen with customers, we have also got a screen for vendors. So this screen shows you the list of all the vendors that are there in the system. You can open any vendor and see all the transactions for those vendors, like their purchases, their unpaid, and whatever the payment you have made them. Everything can be seen on one screen. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a quick look at banking. So sometimes you have to record the bank transactions like withdrawing the cash or depositing some amount in the banking. This is different than receiving amount from your customer. Okay, if you receive amount from your customer, you have to go to the invoices and use the receipt function. But for example, if you are withdrawing some amount for cash expenses, you can use, and you want to account for that, you can use these functions. So for example, let's say you are going to withdraw some amount for your, petty expenses like paying for your tea or some restaurant bills. So let's say you have from this bank, and this is your cash account. Let's say give it to 5,000 rupees. Okay, for let's say labor payment. Okay, so this type of small transactions, if you want to account for that, you can do that from banking. We have got also a feature for bank reconciliation, where you can import your bank statement, okay, in from using a CSV format, and reconcile the transactions that are there in the bank statement with the transactions that are there in ProfitBooks. So once you upload this statement, system will show you all the transactions that are imported from the statement. If that transaction matches with the already entered transaction in ProfitBooks, you'll see this reconciled option. Otherwise, you can just click on find match and system will try to find a match for that transaction. If it doesn't find, you can just quickly add that transaction here. Normally, accountants or auditors use this function at the end of every month to reconcile all the transactions so that your books are in order. All right. So we have seen income, we have seen how to record expense transactions, we have seen banking. Let's look at the accounting menu. This is mostly used by your in-house accountants. They can create new chart of accounts, okay, new bank accounts or anything. There will be some predefined accounts in the system already. Okay, so unless you have this understanding of categorizing the accounts correctly, uh, I would suggest to leave it to your accountants. Okay. Similarly, you can manage your taxes and journal entries. So normally what happens, sometimes we have to adjust certain transactions. So in those cases, you can use the journal entries. Another example could be introduction of, let's say, owner's capital in your business. So these type of transactions can be recorded using journal entries. So in journal entry, what happens is you need to add two rows minimum. One is for debit and one is for credit. So we need to debit one account and credit another account, and both the accounts should match correctly. So for example, um, Aman Verma has in, um, Aman Verma has introduced some capital in the business. So debit Aman Verma and credit, let's say, our bank account. But just need to make sure that both these totals should match. Okay, you can specify the description like owner's contribution and save it. Of course, we forgot to mention the date. So let's specify the date as well. And the transaction will be saved. So there are multiple use cases for this. So depending on your business, you can manage it. Okay, we have seen this screen already. On the product screen, you can either manually add product or also you can import from a spreadsheet. So this is a sample file. Just click on download. It will download the sample file, fill in the details, and you can upload those products in the system. Okay. Just make sure that all the details are correct, because it's very difficult to delete whatever you have uploaded, because um, then those entries are linked with invoices, purchases. So it becomes very difficult to delete a product. So when you are importing in bulk, just make sure that uh, all the details are filled in correctly. Now, if you are in India, then the screen shows GST returns like GSTR 3B, GSTR 1. If you have data correctly filled in, you can just open the month and system will show you all the details related to this particular GST tax return. Now, in ProfitBooks SMB plan, you get an option to add new employees. You can create a new user for this system, and you can assign them specific roles. So for example, if I'm assigning them sales role, then they will only see invoicing screen, nothing else. So it becomes very handy when you want to reduce the duplication of transactions. If you want to give let your sales executives create invoices, record receipts, but you don't want them to see any other part of the system like your purchases, right? So you can do that easily. Similarly, you can add a different role for an inventory manager. So he will only see options related to managing inventory, nothing else. He won't be able to create invoices, etc. Okay, so this is very powerful. We also give you an option to run a simple payroll. So this is designed more from an accounting point of view. So you won't get statutory reports, but once you run a payroll, the respective entries can be made automatically in the accounting system. So for example, while creating an employee, so when you create any user, you can define salary structure for that employee, like different pay heads for that employees. Based on that, the payroll is run. You can also define these pay heads from here. So it could be basic, like house rent allowance, DNS allowance, etc. Okay. So system, when you run the payroll, system considers all these pay heads. You can also specify the days of that particular month, or he's absent for certain days. You can specify that. It's a simple three-step process, and it also lets you enter the variables, like if there are any uh, bonus or shift bonus or anything like that, Diwali bonus, anything like that. You can specify that as well. And in simple three steps, you can run the payroll for that month. Once the payroll is run, the respective accounting entries are made in the system. Okay, now let's take a quick look at reports. Um, ProfitBooks gives you access to all the important financial reports like balance sheet. I'll try to open these reports in new windows and quickly go through it. Balance sheet, profit and loss, trial and balance. Then you get all the tax related reports. If you're outside of India, you can see your respective taxation details. If you're from UAE, you'll see VAT details. Also in UK, VAT is used. Then another most important report is this ledger report. So in this ledger report, you can select any account and see transactions for that account. Okay, and almost all the reports can be exported in PDF or Excel, so you can do that. Okay, so ledger report is one of the most used report. Similarly, there are different reports like transaction reports. So for example, if you want to export all the transactions from the system in Excel, either to import in another system or just for backup purpose, you can go to transaction report and do that. You can check the bank book to see all the transactions for that particular bank. Okay, general register, also the cash book is there. And then most importantly, you have got sales report. So we have sales register. You'll see outstanding receipts. You also see the receivables aging. So for example, uh, this shows like the older invoices. For example, the invoices that are older than, let's say, 180 days. So you know that you need to quickly follow up on this invoice. Similarly, this shows that the invoice is, which is pending since almost 3 months. So you can quickly call up this guy and follow up on your pending payments. Then this is the sales register. It shows you all the details about sales, like how many invoices created, for which customer, the due date, amount, and the status. Okay. Again, you can export in Excel or PDF for your analysis. Ledger, we have already seen. This is the profit and loss statement. Normally, you should look at this statement at least once a month. So it shows you all the income and expenses overview and shows you how much, how much profit you made and how much loss was there, etc. And this is the balance sheet. So again, normally this is used once in a year, but you're if you're required to look at it once in a month for, let's say, compliance purpose or tax purpose, you can check this report. Then you have got expense reports, like you can see outstanding payments and whatever the purchases are there. And if you deal with physical inventory, we have got very in-depth reports, like it shows product-wide stock, warehouse-wide stock, and most importantly, inventory valuation. So just this is very straightforward. It is for you to explore, enter some transactions, and check the corresponding results using these reports. Okay, we have got payroll reports. And finally, yes, the audit trail. So you can just click on recent activities and you can see whatever is happening in your application. So in India, this has become mandatory. So in every accounting system, this particular feature should be there. It is there in ProfitBooks since inception. So this is very useful feature. So for example, if by accident you delete any particular invoice and you want to search for that invoice, you can check here and see on which date that particular invoice was edited or deleted. So we have covered a lot of ground here. So let's take a quick look at our settings section where you can customize the entire application. So in settings, you can upload your company logo, okay, and specify your address, your basic details like tax details, and these details will be displayed on your invoices, okay. Then we have got this invoicing setting screen, which is very comprehensive. You can define the sequence number for your invoice. If you're starting mid-year, and if you want to start from particular sequence, you can do that. Then you can customize the look and feel of invoice. Look, for example, instead of product, if you want to call it as a service, you can do that. Instead of a price, you want to call it as a rate or something like that, amount, anything instead of amount, you want to call it as MRP, anything like that. You can customize it here. Then you can specify your customer notes and your terms and conditions. We have got quite a few templates. So for example, this professional template and this minimalist template is designed specifically for service-based businesses. You can just click here. So in case of service-based businesses, they don't have quantity, right? So the quantity column is hidden here. You can just specify the item and the amount. So similarly, there are multiple templates. You can even edit the template. For example, if you are using, let's say, letterhead, and that letterhead already has your company logo and address and all those details that you want, you can hide the company logo from here or hide the company address and select the margin, and accordingly you can print that particular invoice on your custom letterhead. Then this is another powerful feature that we have is invoice custom fields. So you can add up to 3 custom fields on your invoices. For example, if you want to track the name of your salesperson or tracking code if you're shipping something. So this way you can add the custom fields and these custom fields will appear on the invoice creation screen. So similarly to this invoice, you can customize other vouchers as well, like estimates, etc. Like you can select the name of the voucher and you can make changes accordingly. You can also make other changes, like for example, if you don't want to call your customer as customer, and if it's a training institute, you can call it as, let's say, student. or let's say you can call it as donor or anything like that. You can make those changes here. Again, in some countries, estimate is called as quotation. You can do that. Instead of warehouse, you can call it as go down, or let's say store, or anything like that. You can do that. And what is to be shown on the footer of that report, etc. You can customize all those options. If you're dealing with um, inventory, you can create warehouses from the screen. There are settings for payroll on the screen, and in some of the plans, like on this enterprise plan, we have branch accounting. So if you're on this plan, you'll be able to create new branches. Then finally, we have got payment gateways. So depending on the country you are in, you will see the list of payment gateways that are available for integration. In India, we have got InstaMojo and CashFree. If you enable it, you can just click on this guide, and it will guide you how to gate these parameters after logging into InstaMojo. Once you enter these parameters, gateway will be integrated. So this way, you can integrate the payment gateway as well. So, dear friends, so this was the quick overview of the application. So, if you want to go deeper into any specific features, we have got different videos that you can find it on our YouTube channel or on our website. Like if you want to dig deeper into inventory management related features, we have got different in-depth video for that. If you want to dig deeper into invoicing, we have got different video for that. Okay, so you can do that. And yes, one more thing, you can download our mobile app on your Android or iOS device. The app will show you all the overview of your income and expenses. You can see your invoices, you can see your customers, what is pending, what is overdue, etc. So I would strongly encourage you to go to your respective app stores and also download the ProfitBooks mobile app. So that's pretty much everything for this session. And if you have any questions, you can click on this chat icon here, and either you can search it in our help desk. So for example, if you're stuck with invoicing, you can just click here and get instant help, or you can type your message and ask one of our support executives. We are available 5 days a week during business hours, and we'll try to respond to your queries as quickly as we can. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this overview, and I look forward to see you again in next video. Thank you so much.